Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So, in today's video, me and my friend decided to play this game called Pressure, which has gotten a lot of popularity among Roblox players recently. Well, maybe not so recently, but still, it has been popular for quite a while now. And I thought, yeah, you know what, it's better to make a review later than never, because I feel like I have to talk about this game. Now, as you have probably noticed from the title, I will be referring to this game as a Doors clone. Then you cannot convince me otherwise. Now the main question is this game good? Yes, it's good. Is this game perfect? No, definitely not. At the very least, I don't think so. And before you go writing your angry comments about, oh, why Tablet Premix didn't call our favorite game perfect and how it's the best thing ever, please just watch the video and consider my points as well, because I'm gonna be explaining why exactly I don't think that this game is really a masterpiece in any way, and I will also explain why I think that this game is pretty much a clone of the horror game called Doors that was released earlier. Now, I do want to mention the fact that I did have a lot of fun with this game, and I think that it's definitely a good game. I have nothing against it, I have nothing against the developers, they made an awesome job, and I will simply be criticizing some parts of this game that I did not find really interesting or that I thought just didn't really work well. And I do have to clarify that by clone, I don't mean anything bad. I mean that it's just simply a game that's way too similar to Doors, even though the developers literally stated in their description that this game was directly inspired by Doors. So yeah, there's nothing really wrong with that. I'm just saying that this game slightly lacks variety in some cases. But whatever, let's just get straight into the video. So, the first thing I would like to mention that the sound design in this game is absolutely wonderful. This might honestly be the most well-designed game in terms of sound effects I've ever seen on Roblox. Yes, I do think that it's better than Doors in this case. And I think that the developers perfectly captured this underwater horror type of atmosphere, and it's obvious from the very first seconds of the gameplay. They're very high quality, they're matching for basically any situation, they're really unique, they're really interesting, and yeah, I just think that if something was perfect about this game, it's definitely the sound design, because good god I love it so much. And I also have to say that the voice actors did an incredible job at basically everything. The voice for Sebastian was great, I really loved it. The voice for this really interesting, I'm not sure how to call it, like this robot, I guess, that just tells you whenever you pick a wrong door or something. You know what I'm talking about. It kinda reminded me of Wheatley from Portal 2 in some way, and it's just awesome. Like, I really think that the voice actors did a wonderful job at this game. And not just audio design, but the visual design of this game is also just stunning for Roblox. Once again, I think that this game has better visual design than Doors, and that's just something that's worth praising because it goes to show how much potential the Roblox engine has, and I'm so glad to see that the developers are not wasting it in any way, and that's just great. I have nothing else to say about this. Now, in terms of the actual gameplay, it's not any different from Doors. You open a door, walk through a hallway, open another door, sometimes looking for keycards or something, while at the same time avoiding monsters. Yes, that's literally the Doors gameplay. And the same thing can be said about the enemies in this game, which is probably the biggest thing I disliked about Pressure. So, how they're doing this is they're basically reusing the exact same concepts that Doors had in their game, and just add different visuals, I guess. Because let's take a look at Rush, or Ambush. Yeah, that's how the anglerfish works in this game. And to be more specific, the anglerfish variant when it comes to Ambush. I forgot which one exactly, but yeah, there's an anglerfish variant that's basically Ambush. Now let's take a look at the eyes that you don't have to look at. I mean, you mustn't look at in order to not get any damage. Yeah, that's how Infestation works in this game. The same thing can be said about Screech from Doors, and Squiddles from Pressure, or Dupe from Doors, and Good People from Pressure. Like, they're the exact same mechanics, they're the exact same enemies. and you're just reusing the concept, and that's not really fun. Now, just a simple notice while I'm editing this video, turns out that the mechanic for good people is actually a bit different. Like, in doors, you have to look at the number to realize if it's a fake door or not. But in Pressure, you have to look for sound cues. And, I mean, yeah, that's kinda better, but still, the concept is literally the same. And I mean, my point still stands. It would have been so much better if the developers actually thought of something of their own instead of just using the same concept as Doors did, because, like, you're basically playing the same game, but with different designs, I guess. Now, of course, there were some original ideas for this game, including the boss called Searchlights, which I found to be really interesting, and I definitely enjoyed the entire sequence with this massive thing just flying above you, and how you have to fix the generators while it's not looking at you. It's nice. Like, I just don't get why the developers didn't do the same thing for the other things, like at least some other enemies, because most of them, like 90% of the enemies, are scrapped from Doors. And wow, I'm surprised I actually forgot to mention this, but this game only has 2 game passes. And yeah, that's just good. I'm glad it's not a greedy cash grab, which Roblox is full of nowadays, so yeah. Now, my other complaint is mostly about how the entire After Death system works. Now, I think that having tips and explanation for the enemy that you died from after the actual death animation is great. It's a wonderful mechanic that has been also taken from Doors, but whatever, that's a good thing, because I'm really glad they added it. My problem is, there are some downsides of it, especially when it comes to angler variants, for example. Now, when it comes to that, the After Death document actually mentions the names of these anglerfish variants, but it doesn't say how you're supposed to avoid them, and it doesn't say how they just act in general. No, nothing. It just only says that there are these variants, and maybe they act differently, without actually telling you what you should do, not even giving you a hint. Which is, come on, like, it's kinda lame, to be honest. Now, once again, I'm not saying that the actual system is bad. I'm simply saying that if you're going to explain these things after someone's death, then maybe explain the variants as well? Because it wouldn't really make sense, like you died from basically a different enemy. Why don't you explain how to avoid it? Now, when it comes to bugs, I personally haven't encountered any, which I mean is good for a popular game, because if a popular game had a lot of bugs, then there must be some sort of issue, right? Unless it's like Blox Fruits or something, which in that case, I mean, whatever, I wouldn't really be surprised. But Pressure is different. Pressure is not Blox Fruits, alright? Now, despite being basically the same as Doors enemies, I still think that monsters from Pressure are pretty good. Like, their models are good, their sound design is great, and I barely have any issues with them. I just personally feel like it would have been better if they added something from themselves, something new. And sadly, that's about everything I can say about this game for now. And let's just sum things up. I still think that this game is great. I think that Pressure is not exactly unique, but it definitely pays off with its atmosphere, with its really interesting sound design, visual design, and basically it just looks really good as a game. It's not greedy, it's not trying to just lure you into something stupid like most games do. And yes, I think that Pressure is definitely good enough. I think the developers did a great job at making it. So yes, even though I do have my personal issues with it, I still enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend this game because it's just a horror game that does things right. Even though it's pretty much a clone, I feel like it's definitely worth your time, and trust me, you will most likely not be disappointed. Now, I should say this, if you liked Doors, then Pressure is definitely a game for you, and you must check it out in order to realize if it's better than Doors, if it's worse than Doors, or if it's at the same level. And as always, thank you guys for watching today's video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on the notifications if you want to, and make sure to leave a feedback, tell me what I should improve, tell me what I should just work on, or simply tell me what game I should review next. I would really appreciate it. So, thank you, and goodbye.